You were trained to kill your enemies, weren't you? And I'm not so young that I don't understand sarcasm.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Real Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas. I'm here with fellow Robin, Christopher Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
And we're done. This is our last video.
Yep.
For the Robins.
Yep, we tried to do at least one story for each major Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Stephanie Brown. They've done you worse than they've done Tim.
Yep.
Haven't given you a good story.
Yep. But so now we're discussing Damian Wayne. But before we do that, make sure to find us on Facebook, the Real Screen Team. Where else?
You can also find us on Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and Lemonade.
And make sure to like, comment, share our videos, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yep, as we're on the road to 500 subscribers. Once we reach 500 subscribers, update our presentation, open a Patreon. Through your donations, we'll make some special videos just for Patreon. And we will also open up the idea for viewer requests.
So, want to get into the overview of the movie we're reviewing, Son of Batman?
Okay. Son of Batman is a 2014 animated superhero film directed by Ethan Spalding and written by Joe R. Lansdale and James Robinson. The film is an adaptation of the 2006 Batman comic book storyline Batman and Son, written by Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert. The film is the 20th film in the DC Universe animated original movies and the third film in the DC animated movie universe. The film stars Stuart Allen, Jason O'Mara, Thomas Gibson, and Morena Baccarin. And synopsis. Batman must battle Deathstroke and the might of the League of Assassins upon learning that he has a violent and unruly preteen son with Talia al Ghul, daughter of Ra's al Ghul.
Since it was our first time watching this, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it actually was.
Yep.
And I think this is probably the second major thing I've watched involving Damian.
Yeah.
The first one, weirdly enough, is the Harley Quinn animated series, which they actually did do Damian rather well and made him funny. They leaned more into him utilizing the whole he's a young kid.
Yeah.
And also making it feel as though him being Harley Quinn's like major nemesis, it really made her feel like inferior and self-conscious because really, I have a feud with a kid. I don't even have a feud with Batman. I have a feud with his kid. But hey, don't underestimate this kid.
Yep. Let's hope out Damian Wayne himself.
Yep. Damian Wayne, a.k.a. Robin. Voiced by Stuart Allen.
Yep.
I do like his portrayal of Damian.
Yep.
He actually played Damian rather faithful to what he is in the comics.
Yep.
I just think he just didn't make Damian as assertive
Yep.
and aggressive as Damian was when he first appeared, because when he first appeared, he wanted to throw hands with everybody.
Yep.
He wanted to throw hands with Dick, which we actually did see.
Yep. And he lost.
Never mess with Dick. Never mess with him. Remember, worst comes to worst, he becomes Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He became your Batman, Damian.
Yep.
He did throw hands with Jason after Jason reformed and moved back home.
Yep.
Damian actually won and took Jason's helmet as a trophy. He only won because Jason was tired and wasn't ready. Yeah. Just wanted to throw hands with everybody. But I also do like the fact of that we got to see, kind of his experience living
with the League of Shadows.
Yeah. Seeing what he was doing with his mom and his granddad.
Yep.
Before Deathstroke showed up.
Yep.
And that is very comic book accurate. Yeah. He will forever have a feud with Slade Wilson.
Yep.
And they will try to run each other's feed like I don't know what.
Yep. And his motive, after he kills Ra's al Ghul, spoilers, it's revenge.
Well, kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, Ra's died of his injuries.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Deathstroke did kind of cause, him being on fire. But, I mean, yeah, it was an indirect kill.
Yep.
Yeah, and pretty much when that happens, Damian is like, I want this man's head.
Yep.
I want this man's head. Plus, I think, didn't they make it his reason why Slade has to wear the eye patch? Which, I do like that. I do like that. Though it does make the timeline a bit weird, but then again, now they kind of retcon the timeline for it to be centered around Damian rather than Dick or Tim.
Yep.
So, but I like that. I like that. It shows that, this is going to be a forever feud.
Yep, and we're in the New 52 animated movie universe. It's that Flashpoint paradox. So most of these movies are most of the Batman movies are all Damian related. Yeah,
where I'm even questioning, does Tim exist?
I doubt that. Because Barbara exists.
So it's already bad enough that
Katie Kane exists.
Does Stephanie?
Don't think so.
Lord have mercy.
Dick even becomes Batman. Only because Batman's going missing. It's not because he's dead. He's just gone missing.
Of course.
So Dick has to fill in the animated movie universe. So yeah, I think that's as close as we get to a Dick-related movie. Is the movie that he fills in?
Where we actually got the whole Batman Reborn idea.
Yeah.
Well, hey, give him credit on that.
Yeah.
Plus, I do like Damian's interactions with Bruce and just how weird it is for them.
Yeah. One knowing about the other, while the other one never knew about him.
Yeah. And at the same time, Damian not understanding boundaries and not realizing he's a literal child
in
this whole relationship. Bro, you're 12.
Yeah.
Yet you trying to roll up on your dad as if you're an adult.
Yeah.
But then again, you've been trained by master assassins since you were 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But we get to see him in the Robin suit with his sword and everything.
Yes. Though it's not his full, like, true Robin suit.
Yeah.
It's kind of a makeshift.
Yeah.
You know, he took one of the previous Robin suits and started to give it like his own little spin to it.
Yeah. Of course, let's talk about his father.
Yes, Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, played by Jason O'Mara.
Yep, Jason O'Mara, who became the regular Batman after Flashpoint Paradox.
Ah.
Yeah, he was the Batman in all the new 52 animated movies.
And he did a good job.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there. I mean, he's not Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
He's not Bruce Greenwood. But I'd put him, like, right next to Diedrich Bader.
Yeah. Yeah, so he basically discovers about his unknown son and tells him not to kill. And also tries to get some father-son bonding time.
Yeah, as best as he can, despite the fact of his son having the mentality of a grown man.
Yeah. And he convinces Talia that Damon should stay with him, which he does for the rest of the whole new 52 animated universe.
Which was for the best.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, because Damian needed some mellowing out.
Yep.
Which, yeah, it did happen. While at the same time still being very serious, but he started to learn more of following his dad's code. Yeah. I mean, heck, in the end of the film, he was willing to follow his father's code and ethics.
Yeah. By not killing Slade.
Yeah, which, I mean, technically Damian had the right.
Yeah.
Damian truly did have the right.
Yeah.
I mean, Slade, you made Reese die, and right as he was about to get to the Lazarus pit too.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the other supporting cast.
Do we go more into Damian's family, the Bat family, or the villain?
Do the Bat family.
Okay. Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Nightwing, played by Sean Marr.
Yep.
He did do a good job as Dick.
Yeah. And he voices him in also all the new 52 animated movie universe.
Very fitting.
Yep.
Very fitting.
Along with him taking up the mantle in his own sort of central. Well, he sort of shares the limelight with Kate Kane as Batwoman.
Ah.
So it's not necessarily all Dick Grayson. So it's a Dick and Kate team up story.
Really, they decided to bring Batwoman in.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep. So yeah, his thing was to stop Damian from almost killing Ubu. It was one of the villains he was trying to stop Damian from killing.
Because that Damian be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's before he mellowed out.
Yeah.
This was when he was still killing.
Yeah. Yep. Their interactions are hilarious.
Yes, and
Dick reminds him, "Hey, I beat you."
Yeah, remember, I was the first Robin.
Yeah. And I also beat you.
I got trained by the guy that beat your granddad and your mom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Remember that.
Yep.
And plus, that's not even the only time Dick has utterly washed Damian.
Yeah.
Batman versus Robin, they had a rematch, and Dick washed him again. And Batman washed him too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then let's talk about Alfred, who also didn't get along with Damian.
Yes, Alfred Pennyworth, played by David McCallum.
Yep. Ducky from NCIS. And this is his role reprisal since he voiced him in Batman Gotham Knight.
Huh.
Which was also a sort of in between Batman Begins and the Dark Knight movie. Where he was Kevin Conroy's Batman's butler, Alfred. Yep. So he got to this time do it with a new voice act, whole new voice cast.
But hey, he did do a good job.
Yep.
Very loyal butler.
Yep.
But you do, while it does start off a bit, butting of heads, you do start to see that the start of what ends up happening between Damian and Alfred's relationship, where of everyone in the Bat family besides his dad, Damian holds a great deal of respect and love for Alfred.
Yep.
I mean, it's essentially Batman, Alfred, then Dick.
Yep.
As far as the people that Damian, loves and respects in the family.
Yep. Of course, let's get into Damian's family.
Well, starting with his mom, Talia al Ghul, voiced by Morena Baccarin.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Since the Deadpool reviews.
It's a bummer we're going to miss out on meeting her this year.
Yeah. Hopefully next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully no scheduling conflicts next year.
Yeah. And maybe she'll have her husband. Who also voiced Batman in an animated project. Batman Year One.
Huh. Oh, yeah, that's right. I swear. Is this like 7 Degrees to Batman?
Yeah. And this is not her. This was her latest DC thing, since she also voiced Gideon in The Flash. And also was Leslie Tompkins in the Gotham TV show. Where she met her future husband, who was Gordon.
Yes.
Yep.
How old is he?
He's like 40s.
Might be a bit too old to be Batman as well.
Yeah.
But she did a fantastic job as Talia.
Yeah.
She actually did do the character justice.
Yeah.
Which, it's actually weird. We don't have too many... There aren't too many interpretations of her in a lot of media.
Yeah.
Like,
we have the animated series, that Dark Knight Rises movie, where she has a terrible death.
Oh, Lord. Where even the actress herself is like, why did you use that take?
Yeah.
I think there's another...
Arrow. Yeah.
Well, I before going into other live action, I think, is there another movie or series where we saw her, where she properly told everyone it's pronounced Raish?
Yeah. Still the same animated universe.
Yeah.
From Batman Beyond. Voiced by the same no, I think it was a different actress.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
And yeah, Arrow.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, that's about it.
and the Arkham video games.
Yep.
That's really about it.
Yep.
That not too bad, but that's
Yep.
that doesn't feel like it's enough.
Yep. Yep. After the tackle on the League of Shadows, she decides to surprise Bruce by letting him know, hey, she drugged him, and they have a kid.
Had her way with him. Yeah. Unfortunately, that isn't a. Unfortunately, that's not an uncommon thing with superheroes, and when they end up having kids, unfortunately, and it's usually the male heroes.
Yeah.
I don't think this has ever happened to the female heroes. They usually are.
Unless you count Captain Marvel in the 70s. Where she gets birthed by an alien being.
Okay,
Marvel / that.
Okay, besides that,
Yeah.
or unfortunately Raven literally giving birth to her dad so he could take over the world. Yeah, usually the female heroes, they get to have the choice of having kids. While the male heroes, it's either, yeah, let's go ahead, or drugged you and, yeah, now you got a kid.
Or clone. Or a clone kid. Like Superman.
Yeah.
With Connor.
That man is your kid, man. I don't care how much Lex Luthor there is. That's still your son.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did do that. And yeah, Damian is the byproduct. Which I do find interesting that either timeline, there's a number of different timelines. One of the timelines where Batman actually marries Catwoman, and instead of having Huntress, they have a son. They do still name him Damian. And he does become a Robin for Dick.
Mm-hmm. Of course, she does good, although she gets herself captured by Slade.
Yeah.
And used as bait for Damian.
Which was messed up. And heck, she's not even the only bait.
Yeah.
She's not even the only bait.
Yeah, of course.
Though we'll get to that.
Of course, she ends up dying. But unlike her father, she ends up getting resurrected through a Lazarus pit in time.
Yeah. Which, dear God. Yeah, things got intense in this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want Damian to become half an orphan already.
Yeah.
But it was cool to still see Talia do, her thing.
Yeah.
Though, yeah, she did get washed by Slade, but what you gonna do?
Yeah. She's the one who tries to force Damian to go back with her at the end, but he decides to go stay with Bruce.
Yeah. Spend more time with his dad.
Yep.
Starting to mellow out.
Yep.
And feels like this might be his calling.
Yep.
Maybe I don't want to be the new Ra's al Ghul.
Yep. Speaking of Ra's al Ghul, let's discuss him.
Ah, yes, the demon's head himself, Ra's al Ghul, voiced by Giancarlo Esposito.
A good project he was in.
Yes.
To what he had to deal with this year.
He was shoehorned in.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to hoping he becomes Mr. Freeze, because he really wants to be Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
But you have Giancarlo Esposito voicing Ra's al Ghul.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect casting for a great character, but you don't utilize him as much as you should.
Yeah.
You only have him for like what?
The cold open.
Over 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I feel like that's not enough. That's not enough. We needed more. We needed more. I mean, remember who this man is.
Yep.
Gus from Breaking Bad, Moff Gideon. You have one of the top caliber actors voicing one of Batman's, more cerebral adversaries, who holds a great deal of respect for him. Imagine what would have happened if we had heard Giancarlo and Jason Momoa converse. Yeah. Such a missed opportunity.
But he did good. What he has a great fight with Slade.
Yeah. Though unfortunately he lost.
Yeah.
Though that was only because accident.
Yeah. But let's talk about the villain, the main villain of the piece.
Yes. Slade Wilson, a.k.a. Deathstroke, played by Thomas Gibson.
Yep. From Criminal Minds.
Huh.
And Dharma Greg, a Chuck Lorre show.
While Ron Perlman will always be my true Slade Wilson, Thomas Gibson also did do a fantastic job.
Yep. We got his own unique origin of him trying to be part of the League of Shadow.
Well, he was, but he defected.
Which they ended up using it for the Arrowverse, but changed it to Damien Dark.
Yeah.
Because they already used Slade the year before.
Yeah, and they actually followed his backstory a bit more faithfully.
Yeah.
Minus the Mirakuru.
Yeah.
And Shadow.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they actually did do a good job in utilizing Deathstroke.
Yep. Here he's just a revenge.
Well, he's a usurper.
Yeah.
He's literally trying to do a coup to take over the League of Shadows and take out the whole Al Ghul line.
And revenge for Damian for stabbing him in his eye.
Yeah, that too. Huh. Now that makes the whole reason why he keeps running the Teen Titans fade in this timeline. Yeah, it makes a whole lot more sense.
Yep. But unlike the Arrowverse, where he actually does get redemption, and Slade Jr. takes over as the new Deathstroke. Despite his father.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep. Yep, so in this one he's just
he's just evil. Yep. He out to get the throne and revenge.
Yeah. He's like the Teen Titans cartoon with Ron Perlman, yeah.
Yeah, except instead of trying to manipulate Robin and try to make him, his successor. Yeah. Oh no, I'm just gonna kill Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took my eye.
Yep.
He took my eye.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna take that line down.
Yeah, but he gets what's coming to him at the end.
Yeah. But he'll be back. Yeah. He'll be back. Yep. He's got a whole Judas contract ready.
Yep. But when it get into the good,
there are a few other characters. I mean, one of the main things he ends up using, Dr. Kurt Langstrom, voiced by Xander Berkeley, as well as his wife Francine Langstrom, voiced by Diane Michelle, and his daughter Rebecca, voiced by Carrie Walgren.
Yeah.
he got the services of Man-Bat himself.
Who was already working with the League of... or used to work for the League of Shadows.
Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, Ra's al Ghul's dead, Talia al Ghul I have captured. You work for me now.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, well...
Your family's going to die.
Yes, I've already taken them. So now, make me Man-Bat ninja assassins.
Yep. But you do feel sorry for Kurt because unlike although some of the adaptations like animated series, he does redeem himself after the first episode.
Well, same thing with the Arkham video games, Arkham Knight, where accident turned him into Man-Bat. We think he killed his wife, or the accident ended up causing his wife to die. So we thought.
Yeah.
And we help him, but then it turns out, oh no, his wife became a...
Woman-Bat.
Yes.
Well, that's what happened in the animated series. Because he thinks he's the one who still turned into Man-Bat, but no, it's her.
Of course.
Yep.
Poor Francine.
Yep.
She deals with so much.
Yep. Both sides. Either or. Then in the anime movie, they were like foreshadowing some sort of flirtation between Rebecca and Damian Wayne Robin.
Yeah, they kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda. But she was doing it a bit more of giving him, information to help.
Yep.
But I think that may also be the start of his thing for goth chicks.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a preference.
Yeah. So,
The Good.
Yep.
Yeah, the plot was good.
Yep.
Faithful to the original story. The voice acting was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely for Stuart Allen, Jason O'Mara, Thomas Gibson, Marina Baccarin, and what little bit we got of Giancarlo Esposito.
Yep. Clem Bruce Thomas as James Gordon.
Yes.
Of course, some of the cameos, because Kevin Conroy does reprise his role as Thomas Wayne in a flashback.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep, during the amusement park stakeout, Bruce was remembering.
Memories.
So he got to reprise his role from Perchance a Dream. Kevin Conroy. So.
And we also got to see Killer Croc.
Yep. As himself getting beat up.
As he's becoming more and more crocodile than man.
From getting beat up by Batman before he gets saved by Talia.
Yeah. The action.
Yeah.
I mean, the League versus Mercenaries fight was amazing. Yeah. And it's crazy that they have a crankable turret gun that shoots arrows.
Yep.
Batman versus the Mercenaries, and also him versus the Man-Bat Mercenaries.
Yeah.
Batman and Damian versus Deathstroke, which was fantastic. And it was on between Robin and Deathstroke.
Along with Damian versus Dick, briefly.
Yeah, but that was a scuffle where he got washed.
Mm-hmm.
They were very faithful to Damian's character. Yeah. Cool introduction to the Man-Bat and his family. The only bad I can say is no Tim Drake, no Jason Todd, and not enough Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah. But other than that, fantastic.
Yep. When I get to the scores, I give this 9 out of 10. It was good, but it will never surpass Under the Red Hood for me.
I give this an 8.5.
Yeah.
I feel as though Yes, Under the Red Hood is fantastic. I don't think it fully measures up to the Dick Grayson stories that we did, but it is fantastic.
Yeah.
It truly is fantastic.
Yep. But before we go, we're going from one superhero to another. But from the opposing fight, the opposing comics,
Yes.
the rival comics book company with Daredevil.
Yep, the man without fear. As we discuss all 3 seasons of Marvel's Daredevil that was originally done by Netflix. And then we also give a review for the first season of the continuation series, Daredevil Born Again.
We're halfway done already watching.
Yeah. It's been crazy.
Yep. But when we're all set,
Sure. Well, thank you all for watching. Definitely come back and watch us again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the post notification bell so you're updated with all of our upcoming videos. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.